Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Newark. I am Liz Carlisle, and my pronouns are she, hers, and it is my privilege to be your worship associate this morning. I have been a member of this community since the early 90s, and I have loved every minute of it. You have all become my second family and supported me through the good times and the bad times, and when I have done well and when I have really messed up. So thank you for that. Each week we have a lot of activities occurring at UUFN, and I'm not going to go into detail about them now, but refer you to your weekly update. That has all the details, and be sure to take a look at that on a regular basis, because in these difficult times of the coronavirus and all of its mutations, things can change very quickly. So even though we have all returned to Zoom services, our minister, the Reverend Don Garrett, is still available for pastoral care. His weekly office hours are on Wednesday and Friday afternoons until further notice. And if you'd like to reach him, you may email him at minister@uufn.org. Now I would like to read our mission statement. We are a community of spiritual seekers, inspired to promote a just and compassionate world. We come together this morning in a spiritual community of wonderful variety, where our communal truth is that each person has the freedom and responsibility to search for their own truth and meaning. We come from many places with different ideas, hopes, pain, and different stories. And while we come together knowing that the sharing and challenging of our individual beliefs can help us grow, while at the same time, it will create a communal identity and story. Our speaker today is the Reverend Karen Laughman, a very dear friend of mine, and certainly no stranger to UUFN, as anyone who was in the group chat beforehand will know. Karen was a member here for several years and was quite involved in our community, and she remains a good friend to many of us. In the early 2000s, she went back to pursue a degree at seminary, and in 2009, graduated from One Spirit Seminary in New York as an interfaith minister. So in addition to offering Sunday services in different locations on various spiritual topics and officiating life passage ceremonies such as marriages, baby blessings, and memorial services, Karen also provides spiritual guidance and counseling. So it is my absolute pleasure to introduce Karen Laughman.
Thank you, Liz. It's my joy to be here today with all of you. It always feels like coming home when I see your beautiful faces. So thank you for welcoming me this morning. And we are now going to light our chalice with the opening words from the Gray Hymnal, number 448. The author is Christine Robinson, who is a UU. We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in the celebration of the life we share together. So, as most of you know, I think, that the topic that I'm speaking about today is staying hopeful. We know that we live in a challenging time with uncertainty, yes? My message today is staying hopeful in all of those challenges. I truly believe to triumph in any challenge and to move forward, we need to stay hopeful, personally and collectively. Although our minds can go to a place of fear and doubt, the expression hope springs eternal is also true. It is our nature to look for hopefulness. Hope is defined as an optimistic state of mind that is based in an expectation for positive outcomes in one's life and events in the world at large. Faith is based upon hope and possibility. In the Hebrew Bible, faith is described as the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. The mustard seed is one of the smallest seeds, but grows to be the largest of garden plants and becomes a tree. In Matthew 17:20, we are told, "Truly, if you have faith like the grain of a mustard seed, nothing will be impossible for you." As this metaphor implies, when we plant seeds of hope in our spirit, we can accomplish much and overcome much. Many spiritual people believe we can overcome any challenge with faith and hope. There is evidence that those who have optimistic lives and outlooks look happier, live happier, and healthier lives. The truth is, we are endowed with inherent wisdom and power, and we have infinite possibility. Listening to that still voice within, with faith and optimism, gives us hope to transmute negative energy into positive energy. And staying in a positive frame of mind, we can use our intelligence to find solutions to our difficulties and the challenges in our communities and the world. Optimism encourages us not to give up hope. We can create peace of mind, health, body, and create new possibilities always. Brother Sheen D. Rest is a Benedictine monk, an interfaith spiritual leader and founder of a global organization named Network for Grateful Living. He teaches that faith and hope is a courageous trust in life. He states that a deep trust in life is not a feeling. It's a stance that you deliberately take. It's an attitude of courage in the face of challenges. We know we can't always control what happens to us, but we have some control in how circumstances impact us with our attitude. We can be less fearful if we trust the power and presence of the Spirit within and turn any self-defeating thoughts into an affirmation of life, strength, and faith. This is the foundation of positive possibility thinking. We are not promised that our lives will always be easy, but we can believe that our divine spirit within us guides us and gives us strength and power and resiliency to live the life we want and create and sustain communities of love, peace, and justice. Staying hopeful is a spiritual practice. We can shift our thoughts from the ever-changing rhythms of life and align with the strength of our spirit at any time. We can choose to see situations in the outer world as conditions that we can overcome and affirm that our future is rich with possibility, contrary to any circumstances that may appear otherwise. This is what hope is. This is what trusting life is. Viktor Frankl, who was a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, wrote the book, Man's Search for Meaning. It is a profound book, of course, that many of us have read. And it's on maintaining hope in the most difficult time of suffering, living in a Nazi concentration camp. This is a quote from his book. Everything can be taken from a person but one thing, The last of the human freedoms is to choose one's attitude in any set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. As a prisoner in unthinkable circumstances, he strived to keep an attitude of hope and helped other people around him be as hopeful as possible. He wrote that when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. He suggested that we adopt a courageous attitude in a situation of unavoidable suffering, and he called this an attitudinal value. We can practice an attitude of hopefulness. First, connecting with that strong sense of spirit inside us. And secondly, asserting positive beliefs about the desired outcomes, the good that is already here and now. So this is an example of affirmative thinking. I am grateful for the spirit of love and wisdom within me, and I know I am guided to blessings of peace, health, and prosperity. I pray and trust that my highest and best good is manifesting in my life. So many of our life experiences are created by our thoughts and feelings, and we have power over our thoughts and attitudes. A spiritual tool for keeping our thoughts positive and therefore creating a positive life path is the use of affirmations. When we have a negative thought about ourselves or a circumstance, we can catch ourselves and not give it attention. This is a spiritual practice. We can replace a negative thought with a positive affirmation. So if we are feeling overwhelmed by a situation, we can say to ourselves, I can handle this with self-confidence. I am hopeful that a solution is around the corner. For concerns about our community, our country, our world, we can say to ourselves, there are many good people, and we are being led to the right solutions. As Martin Luther King reminded us, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. For prosperity, we can say, I greet each day with gratitude for the many possibilities that await me. For health issues, we can say, the cells in my tissues and organs are working together for my healing. For affirmations to be effective, they need to be stated in the present with an affirming message that feels true to you. Affirmations can be stated simply and repeated. They make a difference in shifting our consciousness to a place of hopefulness. Give us energy to create what we want and need in our lives. Affirmations help keep our thoughts positive and our hearts open. Another tool for creating positive energy, of course, is meditation. I like to think of meditation as resting with the breath. As you know, there are many methods, but basically it is becoming conscious of the in-breath and the out-breath, gently turning attention to the inner self, allowing thoughts and feelings to pass without judging or attachment. Meditation can lead us to that place of silence, which is a deeper place where oneness with divine presence is experienced. Practicing meditation can help us feel more peaceful and hopeful, as does the practice of mindfulness, which is staying in the moment as much as possible. When we are in the awareness of this present moment, we are not thinking of the past or the future, and we can feel the joy and the peace of our innate spirit. And this helps us stay hopeful. And yet, there are times when we feel anger, fear, sadness, and grief, which we need to honor and have a healthy outlet for, expressing and releasing these feelings. As part of a healing process, we may need to cry. Reach out to someone who can passionately listen. What we don't want to do, of course, is stay stuck in that energy of anger, fear, blame, and hopelessness. Instead of reacting, we can take that deep breath and choose peace and hope. Holding difficult emotions in mindful awareness without attachment is a Buddhist practice. Buddhist teacher Pema Chodron wrote the book, When Things Fall Apart. She advises us to learn to live with the groundlessness in our lives. She writes, whatever arises, breathe it in without pushing the feelings away or running away. Breathe in with loving compassion for yourself and for others who may be experiencing the same pain. Breathe out slowly, letting go of the struggle. A relaxed state of mind in the midst of uncertainty can help us feel more hopeful as we release anxiety and invite loving kindness to ourselves and others. Chodron also writes, we can use everything that happens to us to help us wake up spiritually. Our spiritual director at my One Spirit seminary would often tell us that the experiences that we find most challenging are the ones which evolve our soul. Every encounter, every experience can help us grow on our spiritual journey. And now Liz will share a reflection with us.
Thank you, Karen. It was wonderful, very affirming. So many of you here this morning have faced dire situations in which your lives were totally upended and you were probably plunged into despair. There were probably moments in your journey through these dark times that you felt hopeless. All was lost. It's just human nature that you felt that way. But you are here to tell the tale. I'm looking at all these faces, and I know many of you personally, and you tell it with grace. So how did you move beyond the fear and the grief and the anger and other negative emotions that hopelessness is fueled by to an acceptance of your situation and the strength to wake up another day, to get out of bed another day? How and where did you find hope? I'm going to guess that love had a lot to do with it. The love of your family, your friends, this community, and many others who opened their hearts and arms to you with compassion. Because this is what happened to me, and I will share briefly my personal story. Last October, I received a diagnosis of stage 4 breast cancer that has gone to my bones. My first reaction was totally stunned surprise, as you can imagine. And then came the fear and the anxiety and the Google searches, of course, as I tried to wrap my head around this news. I kept my diagnosis largely to myself until I knew what I was dealing with and I had a treatment plan in place that I could live with. And when I did start to share the news, the outpouring of love was like a river that lifted me up and grounded me at the same time. It was surprising to me because I admit I am not a person who easily receives love and unconditional love to boot. So this was hard. I've always felt more comfortable as a caretaker, one who gives to others at their time of need. And that's where my energies are best put. But it was when so many of you in this community took my hands in yours one day and you said, Liz, let us love you. Let us take care of you, that I began to truly understand the healing power of love. And the core of that power is hope. It's what gets me out of bed in the morning to face another day. Hope has also helped me to frame the narrative around my cancer so that my story is easier for me to tell and easier for others to hear. If I speak with despair, people will be more likely to respond with despair. If I speak with hope, people will be more likely to respond with optimism and hope. So I had a choice, and Karen mentioned choice earlier in her talk. I could view this cancer as a death sentence. I could become a cancer warrior and fight this nasty beast with every fiber in my body. Or I could just accept it as a chronic condition, albeit an unpredictable one, and learn to live my best life with it. I am, after all, the boss of my body. And while I can't stop this cancer in its tracks, I might be able to slow it down and continue to find joy in the things worth loving for and living for. Love has given me the hope that I need to get to this point. Beautiful, bright, selfless love, the gift that keeps on giving. Its healing power has been profound, and you all have been a major part of that. So again, I thank you all. Words cannot express my gratitude, and I offer you great blessings. Thank you.
Liz, thank you for that beautiful reflection. You have always been the center of love. And as you just said, love is hope, love is healing. And as you live your life in the light of love and hope, you truly are an inspiration to us. So we thank you. You are deeply loved in this circle. And so, as Liz asked you, and I'm going to ask you, when and how have you been drawn to hope for the challenges in your life? I needed to draw from a wellspring of optimism as a young adult and single parent. And in my middle years when I was diagnosed with cancer. Now in my aging years, I use hope to affirm I can live a fulfilling life with purpose. Loving relationships and spiritual practices keep my spirit uplifted. Today, I am grateful for all the people who are committed to helping us get through this pandemic. I feel hopeful about the innate goodness of human beings and our feeling of kinship and unity with those of us that are like-minded. I truly believe, and I make an effort to remember, we are in the majority of our people committed to helping our world be a better place for all. I am inspired and made hopeful by the young people and the grassroots movements that are demanding change for racial and social justice, equality, freedom from violence, and attention to saving our planet from climate change. Our economy is creating new jobs. Today, I feel hopeful that in spite of challenges, we will reclaim and strengthen our democracy. Our potential is always bigger than our problems, is a quote that I like from Michael Beckworth of the Agape Spiritual Center. We can decide to never give up hope, as John Lewis exemplified and implored us to do. never give up. Barack Obama exclaims that the audacity of hope is hope in the face of difficulty and uncertainty. He states, hope is the thing inside us that insists, despite evidence to the contrary, that something better awaits us if we have the courage to reach for it, work for it, and fight for it together. Michelle Obama, I have to mention her, says that the best way to make our decisions is debate based upon optimism and hope, not fear. President Obama says that the best way not to feel hopeless is to get up and do something. So with our capacity to demonstrate love and hope, we all can collectively be agents of positive change. We need to be steadfast in our optimism in today's world so we can help make the changes we know the world needs. Might it be each of our calling to express our divine qualities every day with renewed hope and commitment for the betterment of ourselves and our human fellow beings. So I want to close with this thought. Hope is a vibration. It's an energy, a positive energy that is inherent in our spirits when we intentionally choose hope, just as we intentionally choose peace and love and joy. Keeping a hopeful perspective with others helps encourage their sense of hopefulness. This is what we can do for one another. Because hope, we know, has a triple ripple effect. When we trust in life and live our lives with an attitude of gratitude, the grace of hope flows in our lives. May you dwell in hope and possibility. And let's take a moment of silence to reflect upon those words, hope and possibility. Just a few moments. To breathe in peace, love, hope, and possibility. And so it is. Blessed be. And now Liz will extinguish our chalice. And so we close our service today with a reading, which is really a song in the hymnal book, the gray hymnal book, page 6, named Just as Long as I Have Breath. Just as long as I have breath, I must answer yes to life. Through my pain, I make my way. Still with hope, I meet each day. If they ask me what I did well, tell them I said yes to life.
Amen and blessed be, Karen. Where there is hope, there is life. Thank you.
Thank you.
So this concludes our worship service. Please remain for our social time on Zoom. We are going to go into breakout rooms, and if you plan to stay, please, if you are not going to stay, I'm sorry, please leave us at this time. If you are going to stay, please join the breakout rooms with Prompted. And if you're a newcomer to UUFN, stay where you are, and someone will be here to talk to you about UUFN, welcome you, and answer any questions you have about us. So thank you for attending UUFN. See you in the breakout rooms, and go forth with hope. Blessed be.